Mustees Clothing. So Mustees Clothing is a fashion brand in the city of Bauchi, where we provide affordable, luxurious menswear for men of all ages. So today we're going to be discussing about turning your idea into reality. You know, oftentimes, idea is nothing when it is not turned into reality. You hear, when we hear of Facebook, we know Mark Zuckerberg. And then over the years, we hear that Facebook was an idea stolen by someone. So for years, when Facebook was founded, there was a lot of court cases with Facebook founder and other people claiming that Facebook stole their idea. So what I'm trying to say in essence is their own idea was nothing because they didn't turn it to reality. But when Mark saw the idea from what they were doing and then he turned it to reality. So a number of us, we have diverse ideas in our minds. We want to do this, we want to do that. But what are we doing about it? Practically, we're doing nothing most oftentimes. So it's a question about how to turn those ideas into reality. But first, I'll talk about some of those things that hinder our ideas. From one, we have like fear of failure. A lot of us fear failure a lot. We fear failure a lot. We refuse to start because of what if I fail? Are you with me, please?
Yes.
So a lot of us we always ask ourselves, what if I fail? But what you should ask yourself, what if you win?
Sure.
So we fear failure a lot, and then it hinders our idea from turning into reality. You know, and then someone said that failure is the ability, success is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. You should keep being enthusiastic. Our ideas from turning into reality is we have overwhelm of ideas. Ask an average youth. Today he will tell you he want to start a poultry farm. Tomorrow he will say he wants to become a tailor. Next tomorrow he will tell you that he wants to do this. He will tell you he wants to do this, he wants to do that. You know, why can't you just pick something and focus on it? So a number of us, we have overwhelm of ideas. We want to do everything and anything. So that again is one of those things that hinder us from failure. And then they're from turning our ideas into reality. So the other thing that hinders our ideas from turning into reality is procrastination. I'll start today, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start next tomorrow, I'll start when I have time. Most of us now have time. What are we doing? So procrastination is one of those things that is really, really making us not to achieve what we want to achieve. So I'm hearing some, please, if you're not speaking, please turn off your audio. I'm hearing some sounds. So I will be taking how we'll on our ideas. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. So number one, make your idea concrete. You know, by making your idea concrete, you know, there's a difference between I want to online store. I want to set up an or sell. Difference between I just want to open an online store and you want to open an online store that will sell biro to students. You know, the second statement, your idea was like struck with stuff. Okay, you have an idea to maybe like start a poultry business. You know, in poultry business, there's a lot involved. Okay, you can just say, okay, I want to set up a poultry business that will be supplying eggs to XYZ. It's different from you just saying you want to set up a poultry business. Do we agree? Making your idea concrete is very important. As in, have like a direction. Have a direction to what you want to achieve with your idea. A reminder, there's a difference between I want to set up an online store with I want to set up an online store that will sell. So let's make our ideas concrete. The other thing I would like us to talk about is finding how the resources you have and the resources you need to make your ideas a reality. You know, a number of us will just we have these ideas in our mind, but have you really sat down and do a proper feasibility study? Check, what do I need? What do I have? So if you're able to balance what you need and what you have, you'd be able to have, okay, this is what I can start with. Do we agree, please?
Yes.
So you'll be able to balance that, okay, this is what I can start with. You know, a number of us, we often focus on those things that we don't have. I want to do this, I want to do that. For example, maybe you want to become a photographer, and then you'll be like, to become a photographer, you need a camera, you need this, you need that, you need several things. So in our hands now, we'll now be like, oh, I don't have a camera, I don't have a studio to start with, I don't have a light to use, I don't have this, but you have a phone. And there's an aspect of photography that is called phone photography. So the idea of photography that you have in your head, you focus on that one that you have, and then you make it a reality. So focusing on what you have at hand can help us achieve more than focusing on what you don't have. And one thing we often forget is, someone said, the best tool you can use is the one you have in your hand. The best tool you can use to achieve anything is the one you have in your hand. So we should focus on starting with what we have. That's the take home with the second point. So the third thing I would like to talk about is a number of us today, we want to start something, not because we really want to do it, but because XYZ is doing it. So I need to do something too. So we need to define a purpose. Why are you into this? So if there's no purpose for it, believe me or not, one will fail. Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why, he said, you know, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. They buy why. And that why is your purpose. What is driving you? It's most of us, we go into business because we are broke. And then we need something to give us money. You know, what will happen when money is not coming? You understand? We'll go out of business. So we need to define a purpose. A number of us, we want to start, let's say, because I am seeing the majority of us here are based in Bauchi. So a number of us would want to do like a photography business. And then we know, okay, in photography in Bauchi, we have Amazon. And then a considerable amount of people that are doing photography in Bauchi are doing it, not because they really, really want to do photography, but because Amazon is making it in photography. Then a number of them will venture into it. So what happens when it is not paying you? So we need to define a purpose to starting anything. And then we need to define on that first thing. The first thing I would like to talk about, I think a little recap of what we said earlier. I said, make your idea concrete, find out what resources you have and the ones you need to turn your idea into reality. And then the third thing is to decide on the purpose of the idea. So the fourth one is decide what needs to happen in order to move towards an outcome. Like, for example, you want to set up a poultry business. Decide your milestone. What do you need to do from point A to point B to point C to point D before you achieve what you want to achieve? And then define like your own guide, your success towards it. If you do this, how will you measure your own success? Do we agree? So define your own success track. Okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And if I have achieved this, that is when I can say I'm successful. A number of us, we don't clearly define our milestone. We don't write down what we need to achieve for us to term the business a success. What we often focus on is we keep on doing it and doing it and doing it. You've not really write down, okay, these are the milestone I need to achieve. Okay, let's say, define that your idea into phase. Let's say, for example, the 7th phase is the success phase. Okay, phase 1, I need to set up a shop. Once you've achieved phase 1, move to phase 2. Phase 2, you need to like paint the shop, stock the shop, do XYZ. So once you are able to achieve that, move to phase 3. Now, let's put that your idea into phases to achieve your outcome. So if it is not into phases, we will always see it as though we've not done anything. We always see it as though we failed in it. And a number of us, we often back out of something because we've not really defined the success of that thing in our minds. So we need to define what success is to us in that idea that we want to venture in. And then the other thing I want us to talk about is someone's voice is disturbing the Can we mute all our audios, please? So we'll have opportunity. I will have opportunity for you to ask questions, and so everyone can talk. So the fifth thing I'd like to talk about is the idea and turning it into reality is nothing if we don't believe in ourselves. So the fifth point is we need to believe in ourselves as much as possible. Believe you can do it. Believe where you are, your location is not a barrier to what you want to achieve. We are holding this class virtually. Only God knows where some of the participants are from. The person that conceived this idea of Zoom, if he had limited himself to, okay, it will just be used in my locality, or if he refused to believe in it, he said that it is possible for people in the corner of Bauchi to do a live class, and anyone anywhere can benefit from it. You know, there wouldn't have been anything like Zoom. So he believed in himself as much as possible, and then he believed that the idea he has is possible. So we need to believe in ourselves and believe it is possible. All of those things that we are trying to do, a number of us we will start asking, even before you start, you will start asking yourself, this thing will work, what? I doubt to. You know, that is like a pointer to failure. You understand? This thing will work, what? You know, and with like the first quote I said, you know, success is moving from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. We need to learn to embrace failure, because they say failure builds character. So when you fail, you will learn a better way not to do it. But now you fear to fail, meaning you won't really achieve anything. So the sixth thing I will talk about is create your own personal board of advisors. Create your own personal board of advisors. See, no idea is new. Nothing is new under the sun. That thing you have in your mind that you are hiding from someone to see it. See, there are thousands of people that have done it before. There are thousands of people that have that same idea that you have, that are currently working on it the same way you're doing. So you need to ask, and that thing you want to do, there are people that have done it before, definitely. So you need to write down people you need to contact, people you need to talk to. Okay, I want to do XYZ. How will I achieve this? But some of us will be like, this is my idea. If I share it with this person, if I seek for his advice, he might steal my idea. Then you will foolishly, let me not use the word foolishly, and then it will be a flop. So seeking advice, having your own personal advisors, already you know what you want to do. And you know people that you can contact that can help you achieve this. So you contact them, at least they can point the area that you might possibly fail from for you. So we need to create your own personal board of advisors. Ask them, I want to do this, I want to do that. What do I need to do to achieve this? What do I need to do to avoid failure? And then they will tell you. So you can then selectively pick the one that will help you to achieve what you want to achieve. So the other thing I would like us to talk about is risk. You know, like just like failure, a lot of us fear to take risk. We fear to take risk. We like being in our comfort zone. We don't like doing what we're not used to before. And that idea, it's you're supposed to conceive and bring out something new or bring out something better than what existed before. So, and if you are fearing to take risk, how will you be able to achieve that? Practically, no. So we need to take risks as much as possible. As much as possible. That is the singular way that we'll be able to achieve what we want to achieve. And then the next thing I would like to talk about, I think we're on the 7th or 8th point now. So we'll stop at 10, such that we won't have so much to digest. I'll be asking questions, and then I'll be expecting you to ask your questions too. So patience is the next thing I want us to talk about. Being patient, to achieve A to Z, there's a lot of things in between. A number of us wants to achieve that success, and then we don't want to follow the process. You want to see, we are always interested in the reality of our idea, and then we are not patient enough to follow the process of turning that idea into reality. So we need to be patient. We need to understand that growth has to be organic for it to be meaningful. By growth being organic is like, let's look at the plants around us. It is not the day that a seed is sown that it germinates. And it's not that same day that it bears fruits. It takes time. And then you realize that when the roots of a seed is strong enough, that is when no matter the amount of wind that blows it, it won't fall. And then the only thing that by virtue of patience and time, patience and time, that root will be so firm on the ground that nothing can move it. No amount of external hindrance can make it fail. A lot of startups fail now by some of those external forces because we've not really planted our roots to the ground firmly. We are so interested in the success. We are not so much interested in that process in achieving that success. So we need to be as patient as possible. We need to understand that it is impossible for you to get 9 women pregnant and then to have a baby in 1 month. You need to get 1 woman pregnant and then the baby will come in 9 months. So we need to be patient. There's process to everything. It is not the day that a child is born. That is not the day to start working. So we need to be patient. Startups fail. A lot of ideas fail today because we are not patient. Once it is not looking like it will work in the beginning, we'll just close it down. So once you realize that XYZ is not working, let me do something else. You understand? Work on your strategy. Work on your strategy. when you've tried this is not working. How best can I make it better? You do another thing again. If that one too is not working, you try another strategy. So until you find a perfect one that will suit you. All of those top brands that we look up to, a number of times, a number of their products fail. Google, the almighty Google, in Google I/O 18 or 17, they will tell you about products, 10 products. It will be very hard for you to see that 5 or 6 out of the products is in existence after some years. Google will tell you that they've stopped using this particular product that they launched. So if almighty Google can fail in some things and can rebrand and restructure and re-strategize, so we are we. So we need to embrace failure and learn to be patient. So, and one other thing that I would like to talk about is okay, we've talked about being purposeful, and then always work on that idea. You know, there's something called this is the last thing I'll talk about. Starting lean. And that starting lean is starting with what you have. And then by the lean startup theory is you create a prototype, launch it into the market. Start something first. Put it out there in the market. Get feedback from customers. When you put it back into the idea, you keep making it better. You keep making it better. Of course, we launch a product out there. We are not interested in that idea. We just push a product out there and then we expect it to flourish on its own. It is not possible. We need to keep working on it. We need to keep making it better. And that is the only way that your idea can see the light of the day. So I've talked about 10 points that we can turn our ideas into reality. So I would like to hear from you. Let your questions, your suggestions, and feedback.
Okay, if you have any question, check at the bottom of your screen. You'll see that there's an emoji indication that raise hand. That's the name of it actually. So you can click on that so that we can unmute you to ask your question. Personally, I have a question actually.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Zibrin.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
We can hear you.
Thank you. Actually, the question is like this. Most of the discussion so far is that we cite example with digitalization, although actually this is where the world is actually heading. But I feel like there is need to link digitalization, just like what is coming up, that's one-on-one mentorship for AWS. The problem is, let me just put it straightforward this way. The question is, okay, like you actually have no idea that you have a skills that somebody out there might be interested, that such idea can even fetch you money. I don't know. Are you getting me?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So you have an idea or you have a skills that can actually fetch you money out there, and then all of a sudden you're seated here, just like you cite an example. that we are seated here in the city of Bauchi, not knowing that there are possibility we can hold class online and things of that nature. So as an individual, how can you like start from the grassroots and be able to overcome all this kind of, can I put it as a fear or lacking?
Okay. So let me clear a number of us, we focus on the resources we don't have. We refuse to focus on using what we have in our hands where we are. You understand? Start with what you have, in where you are, with how you are to start with. So once you start with that, see, it can only get better. It can only get better. But a number of us, we want to start from the top.
That's it.
You understand? We want to start from the top. Let us start with who you are, the present who you are, with what you have and with where you are. And then it can only get better. Like I started example with Facebook. It started somewhere in Silicon Valley. Now it's everywhere. Zoom started in China. Now it's everywhere. So, and if the person refuses to work on it, it won't really see the light of the day. People, we in Bauchi and Nigeria now won't really be making any benefits or impact from it. So I guess I've answered the question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Secondly, can I add on? Okay, I see your hand is coming out. Let me give him. Let me take about.
Hi, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? Okay. My question is this. I want to get it clear on this. How will you categorize having a skill and finding a solution to a problem in your community? I get to understand that mostly business
Sorry guys, my network is a bit slow, so I've been experiencing some difficulties.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
So, Joanna was asking a question around how to like bring a business out of a skill, right? So, having a skill is not enough. Having a talent is not enough. Understanding the business of that skill that you have is what is very important. The fact that you know how to sew doesn't mean you successfully run a fashion business. The fact that you know how to code doesn't mean you can start a startup. You need to understand a tech startup. So you need to understand the business of that skill. So, and if you understand a skill well enough, you'd be able to see opportunities out of that skill. You'd be able to see problems you can solve with that skill. And then once you're able to achieve that, once you understand the skill to a level, you would know people that needs it, your target audience. You would know how to sell yourself to them. So understanding something to the topmost level.
Suleiman, you have to stop eating on screen, okay? You are the host. You have to stop eating on screen.
So sorry about that.
So next question, please.
Okay, sorry. I think I've been raising my hand for a while now. Okay, my question actually is more of a personal question. I just want to know, how do you come up with the idea of starting Mustees Clothing?
Okay. Mustees Clothing, let me say I was born into fashion. So I started learning how to sew from the very early age of 7. So out of you being forced to go and learn how to sew, and then I was learning how to sew, basically natives, and then one day I was in Jos. I went to someone's store, which the person happened to be my second boss now. So I saw him made a shirt that looks a lot like a TM Lewin shirt, one of those foreign brands. And then when I saw that shirt, I asked him, "Did you make this shirt?" He said, "Yes." The moment earlier I was being forced to learn how to sew, but the moment I saw what that person had done, made a shirt like a foreign shirt, that was like a turning point for me. You understand? So from that moment, that was the beginning of Mustees Clothing. So that was the beginning of Mustees Clothing. So me being able to achieve the quality of that foreign brand, I feel since that person was able to achieve it, meaning I myself, I can achieve it too. So that was the beginning of it all. And then now that was how everything started.
Thank you for answering that. And this is my second question, and that will be the last question actually. I understand that as we are all Nigerians, right? Sorry. So I know that when starting a business here in Nigeria, there are many difficulties because I personally have started a business and I've experienced so many challenges along the way. So I want to know, what are some of the challenges you face when starting Mustees Clothing, and who's your mentor also, and how do you fight those challenges?
Talking about business challenges in Nigeria, there are a lot. You can't see, running a business in Nigeria should be added to one of those 1,000 ways to die, because there are a lot in it. Is it from the frustration from the government, frustration from NEPA, or frustration from everything? So starting a business in Nigeria, just make up your mind that something will eat you hard every day. A typical Nigerian entrepreneur, it's a different problem every day. So the challenges I faced first was power, electricity, getting the right people to work with, which is like my own kind of business. You can't do it all alone. So getting the right people to work with, and then getting the right materials. So it's a huge challenge. So, but when you do enough research, you'll be able to understand where you can get some of those things cheaply, and then you seek advice from mentor. Please give me some few seconds. My battery is about to go down. Let me quickly connect to my inverter.
Okay, in the meantime, guys, if you have any question, you can just write them down, maybe digest it a bit. And sorry, you have been complaining that I've been eating on the screen, so you haven't ate for the whole day.
Nobody's complaining.
The
You're
only
not supposed
question
to
is,
wait
when are we going
on
to receive our refreshment? It seems you have started already.
Of course, it's on its way, Chairman.
So, questions, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
my question here is, excuse me, Suleiman.
Oh yeah, after you.
Yeah, as you just mentioned, there are a lot of challenges when it comes to starting business in Nigeria, but it's not about overcoming the challenges as well as starting the business. How do you go about finding your customers, and how do you achieve convincing them that you can actually deliver a quality service that they desire?
Okay, so let me say this. Don't start a business that you don't have a clear-cut understanding of the people you'll be selling to. Define your market. Understand your market. Understand your customers. Have your customers on ground before you start any business. Hope, wish is not a part of a business plan. You're hoping someone will come and buy. No. Have a market ready for your business. Understand the demographic. Okay, know that, okay, in Bauchi, for example, you have 15,000 male, and then you want to sell to 10,000 out of it. Okay, now you know you have 10,000 people to sell to. Now you need to position your brand to serve that 10,000. Understand the demographic you want to launch your business into before you even start. Don't start a business looking for customers. Start a business that you know there are people on ground, ready, willing to buy. A lot of business fail because we assume people will buy. No, people won't. So understand the market you want to launch into before you even start, please.
Thank you so much, sir. And again,
Next question, please.
Yeah, this is another one.
No, let's give room for others to ask questions, please.
Okay, anybody with a question?
Question is from the last question I asked.
No.
Asked,
not you. I see Ovan's photography, please. Someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah, yes.
All right, good evening, boss.
Good evening.
The thing is, most times I've witnessed where our level of creativity and involvement in the things that we do tend to want to either slow our pace of production. What I mean is this. We are into creatives. I don't know. I want to ask you a personal question. How do you go about your next level of creativity? Because there are a lot of people doing the same thing that you do, and most times they either tend to inspire you or make you want to compete or make you want to do something that is better than your best, the previous best. So the first question I have is this: what level of creativity or what level of creative work do you put into place to see that you are prepared for your next product or you're prepared for your next output? That's one. I want to say all the questions so that you just answer them at once. That's one. So what the level of creativity you put into your work? Then also, how do you put your team together? What I mean is this, like me, I'm into photography. I do a lot of photography and I try to bring up people that would team up and want to put some things together and make it work. But people feel everything it's about payment. I do a lot. I travel a lot, and I try to even help others grow and all of that. So how did you put up your team? Did you start paying them immediately, or what are the modalities that we should put in place to do that? That's second question. The third question is this. Looking at the demography of Nigeria and looking at the way things are turning around now, or things are going right now, what projections are you seeing that holds for graduates that are entrepreneurs? I read estate in school, all right? I read estate in school, and right now I'm not doing anything close to that end. There has been a lot of diversification as regarding what people read in school and what people are really doing right now. Do you feel it's a good taste for the economic development of Nigeria, or you feel people should have stuck to, because if you check, developmental wise, I think Nigeria are really over dependent right now. I don't know. So I want you to look at these three questions and just tell me what you feel. Sir.
Okay. So let me answer them one after the other. First, to talk about how do I come up with my own creativity and how I don't get carried away with what others are achieving, like people in the same industry. Personally, what I do is I have my own growth plan. I have what's my own brand identity. I know what my brand stands for. You know, if we are in the same line of business with me, we are in the same line of business, the highest I can get is to get inspired by what you're doing. But your own growth will not affect mine. What I mean by that is, because we are in the same line of business, you are achieving XYZ, then I begin to feel intimidated. Then I begin to feel like being rushed. I'll be like pressured to achieve. No, I have my own personal growth plan. And then, because a lot of us, in our minds, we want to build a mansion. But we get easily carried away by the success stories of people that their own goal was to build tents. We want to build mansion, but we get carried away by the success of those that their own goal was to build tents. So understanding your own growth, having your own growth plan will help a lot in achieving what you want to achieve. Get inspired by what anyone around you, your competitors, is doing. Competition to me really don't exist. What I understand by the word competition is the me of yesterday. Me competing, me of today, trying to be better than the me of yesterday. That is competition to me. I get inspired by what others, fellow business owners are doing, but I don't let it get into me. So, and then the next question you add is putting team together. You know, it is very hard to put people together to work for you, especially when your level of motivation is not equal. Me, one thing I tend to do is putting together people that are teachable, not people that I think they know it all. But when you bring together people that are teachable, it will be very easy for you to communicate your brand vision for them. It will be very easy for you to mold them. But when you bring experts together, there will be conflicts. This one is trying to outshine the other. This one thinks the boss is not doing enough. That one thinks he can do better than the boss. This one will begin to think he's not being well paid enough. And people ordinarily now, the first thing they put their heads into is money. So bringing together people that are teachable, people you can easily communicate your brand message to, people that resonate with what your brand stands for. Those are the kind of people that I put on my team. And then the last question you asked is how the disparity between that exists between students or youths coming out of the university doing things that they didn't study. You know, it is the reality of the Nigerian state now. What you will see a banker that studied and is a banker that studied agriculture, and then you see an economist doing farming. So that's the reality of what exists in Nigeria now. So, but what most of us need to start to understand is what we study in Nigeria now, a number of things now are connected. Like personally myself, I studied computer science. I didn't read fashion designing or garments or textile technology or anything anywhere. I studied computer science and I'm a full-time tailor. But what I try to do is, okay, where does computer science and tailoring meets? And I try to marry the two. So understanding the connection between what you study and then what you really want to do. If we've made a mistake of studying what we don't have passion for in the university, I think we can always correct that by either doing a PGD in what we want and then focus on what you want to do, because life is too short to live your life doing what you don't love doing. So just try as much as possible for us to find a connection between what you've studied and what you want to do. So I think I've answered your question. So next question, we should start rounding up by now.
Oh yeah, so my last question is actually from the previous question. This April is actually a mentorship month, and I would like to ask, who is your mentor? Or do you have any mentor?
Yes. I do a lot of things. I'm into podcasting. I'm into photography. Into tailoring, and I delve into the technology space. So in every aspect of what I do, I have mentors in that line. So as to tailoring, my mentor is Kola Kudus. He's the president of Fashion Designers Association of Nigeria. So, and then in photography, my mentor is Kelvin Idofia with Acacia Media in Bauchi. And then the other is Ugo Muzie. Is a US-based photographer. He used to be based in Jos. So, and then as to podcasting, my mentor is Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins podcast. So I learn a lot from him, and then I follow him a lot. So every aspect of what I do, I tend to have someone I look up to, and then I learn a lot from. So mentorship is very, very important. Yes, we all need one.
Thank you so much for answering
So
that.
next,
On personal comment, I actually like your textbooks very much because I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek. I've seen the brain smiling actually when you start mentioning Simon Sinek, because I can spend the whole day talking about Simon Sinek. Hello, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, but the network is breaking.
Oh yeah, so thank you so much.
So let's start rounding up, please.
I don't have any other questions, so I don't know.
I think it's up for round up. It's already 8 minutes to 5. I think you take the lead, Suleiman, by passing the vote of thanks, and all the people that boarded. It's actually not quite encouraging with the number actually that linked up, but I believe we'll do much better as time goes on, and we really appreciate your acceptance to actually take part in this. I don't know, I'm the co-director, sir, so we really appreciate you so much, and we say a very big
Thank you very much for having me.
The sky is actually going to be your starting point, and we'll definitely look up to you, as well as any time we have things forthcoming, we'll definitely link you up, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. So thank you all for joining this, and then for anyone that have a personal question to ask, you can find me on social media at Ango Musti, ANGOMUSTEE. So ask your questions and I'll be glad to answer as it concerns your businesses and your ideas. Thank you very much for having me, and then do have a nice day.
You too, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So there's going to be an after party for anybody that's staying.
This one a big scam. Oh.
Not really a scam. There's a major development in the technology section now. You can even hold virtual parties. I've seen people mostly on it.
Let's just drop our account details at the chat section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which account? Oh, for giveaway. No. We are not going to do that. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. It's quite unfortunate and it's quite fortunate that there is this coronavirus pandemic, because the initial plan was to host our event, was hosted physically actually, because as you know, we as humans, we are, we are social animals. But with the current coronavirus outbreak, since we can't do that, then we'll be meeting online. So in the next 2 weeks, we'll be inviting another speaker and to speak on different topics. I think we are going to ask you that we are going to hear feedback from the community, which topic is going to be is the most pressing topic for them. So we'll do that and we'll share the details with you. So thank you so much, everyone. And we still have 4 minutes to go. So I will reintroduce myself once again. If anybody wants to introduce himself, you can do that. So I'm Suleiman Abubakar Sali once again, and I'm passionate about driving social impacts. I'm passionate about inspiring people to drive social impact so that together we can do all. I'm a big fan of SDG. From here, I can spot SDG calendar behind Mustapha Ango.
I'm an SDG advocate myself.
That's great. I'm Jibril Ibrahim, actually a freelance writer and a passionate community development, advocate, per se. Thank you.
Johanna, you are next.
Okay. My name is Johanna Yuba. That is my mentor.
Wow.
Okay, offense.
We have some people around, but but I can see Amina, I can see Taya Abdullahi, Aisha Abdullahi, Ramatsu. None of them actually partake in any of this. No question, no introduction. Come on, I believe you guys can hear us. It's important that you chip in. No response.
I don't want to speak. They are probably in isolation. Who knows?
Okay, we have 3 minutes to go.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yes.
Mine here says 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I think Amina is coming on board also. Aisha also went off.
So Aisha is actually here with me. We are actually in the same place. So I don't know why she's not able to talk.
You said?
Yeah, sorry about that. I think we just round up since nobody wants to talk. So thank you so much, Jibril, Mustapha Ango. That's really grateful and really indebted to you, and we really appreciate and all the participants. Open photography, Your face looks familiar, actually. I don't know. Probably you have met someone around Bauchi. Aramuche Yusuf. I know she's actually in her business place now, probably. And then Taye Abdullahi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm logging out now. We actually got some few seconds left. Yeah, thank you. And we
Please, no, just a second before we go, please. For those that took part of this course, definitely there is another coming up, and it's very important that we enlighten our brothers and sisters of the benefit they can achieve actually from something like this. I advocated a number of times telling people that the time you waste on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, the data and resources you waste, it's vital if you channel it to something like this. Even though we are not taught skills here, but we are inspired to actually take part in making our life better. Today, maybe if you decide to take a test of the skills you have, you eventually be somewhere someday. So please, let's advise them more. Next time, let's have a bigger number than this, so that the impact would be maximized.
all right. Thank you. Thank you, bro. All right, bye.
All right, bye bye.